out, this is going to be a quick video demonstrating how to use intelligent agents. Okay, so um, an intelligent agent is basically just like an automated process that runs in the course, and you have to set up certain rules for it to be triggered. And it can do things like send an email and send you reports. Very handy for things like keeping track of students that have been showing up to the course or if they've visited a certain topic and so on. Okay. So, first thing you want to do is actually go to your course. All right, so this is the course that I want to be in here. And if I take a look right here, just take a look at my class lists. In this situation, I only have one student in here, okay, because this is just a test course. But I'm going to, I'm really interested in this student one, Warren person that doesn't show up, okay? So, this attendance has been a little bit dodgy for this student, and I want to be able to figure out how often they're showing up. So, and I want to be reminded because sometimes we can be pretty busy. So I do want to get some email reminders on how often this student shows up. Okay. So what you need to do is go to course admin. And when you get the course admin, there's going to be an area here called intelligent agents. So you're going to click that. Now, if you've never been in here before, you're not going to see anything in here. But for me, I've got a few other ones that are already here that I'm not using. And right now I can see there's a couple of X's next to them. And what this means is that these are not enabled. So if you see a little X next to your intelligent agent after you've done it, it means that you have not enabled it. Okay. And you can have categories as well. You can have, if you have a lot of intelligent agents, and some people can have, a dozen or so of them easily, you might want to organize them. But we don't really need to organize these. We're just going to do one today, so we're not too worried about that. So I'm going to start by clicking on New Agent. And I'm going to call this Course Access. So what I want to find out here is that I want the agent to run to let me know if the student has accessed the course or not, okay? And I'm going to pick a time period for that later on. A description, you don't have to put a description, that's more for you, but I'm going to... So I want to get an email if a student has not accessed the course 2 days, okay? So in 2 days. I can add a category here if I want. I'm not going to do that. And here's the something I do need to check off if I want this agent to run, and that is the agent is enabled box. So I'm going to click that. And the next area here is scheduling, okay? So I want this to run every day. So I'm going to pick daily. And I want this to repeat every day, and I want it to give me an email every day for any student who has not accessed the class in 2 days. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. A new feature that's brand new to D2L is being able to schedule a time to do this. So it used to be that it only ran at around 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, whatever, but right now you can actually pick a time for it to run. And for me, I want to pick 9:30 a.m. because as a teacher, teaching secondary right about now, my workday starts around, my official workday starts around 10 a.m. So I want to get an email before I settle into my office hours or settle into my e-learning schedule. So I'm just going to pick 9:30, but you can pick any time you want. Okay, you can have a start and end date for it, but I'm not going to pick a start and end date. I'll just turn off the agent when I think I'm done. So the next part is criteria, okay? And you can run this intelligent agent on all users visible in the class list. So that means it'll do teachers, it'll do a principal if you have them listed, EAs, the whole works. But I'm only really interested in students. So I'm going to pick student users with specific roles, and I'm going to click that student box, okay? All right, so now I'm going to head down to take action on activity. So I have an option here for login activity and course activity. Now, login activity is not that useful for most teachers. Okay, so you might say, what's the difference? Login activity is if they've logged into D2L at all. Okay, so they can log into D2L and go to someone else's course, and it's going to use this area right here as a guide for that. But that's not really useful to me as a teacher. I want to know how often they're accessing my course. Okay, so that's probably more useful right there, course activity. And I want to get an email if the user has not accessed the course in the last 2 days. So every single day at 9:30 a.m., I'm going to get an email well, I haven't set the email part up yet, but we'll do that in a second. Saying if a user has not accessed my course in the last 2 days. Okay, so that is a popular use for that for an intelligent agent, and they kind of put that right out here for you. But you can also, if you want, now you don't have to use this, but you can use this one as well. But you can have multiple intelligent agents, right? I can also have release conditions on it. So I'm going to click create here. Now, I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to do this, but maybe I'll create a separate one. But you can use any of these release conditions here to also trigger an email. I think a really good one would be not visit a content topic, and that content topic could be your final project. Okay, so right now you're coming up on the end of the school year, and if you want to get an email for every student who has not visited your final project topic, you can have that report emailed you automatically every morning if you want as well. Okay, but I'm not going to add that right now. I'm just worried about course access for this intelligent agent, but you can go through the whole thing again and create one for that as well. Okay, so for actions, okay, you have the repetition as an option here, so you can have take action only the first time the agent's criteria are satisfied for a user. If you check this box off, you're only going to get an email once about the user. So every single day, if a user continues to not show up, you won't get any more emails about that user. So I think most teachers want the action taken every time the agent is evaluated and satisfied. Okay, there are definitely times you want to use that first one, but for this one, I want to get an ongoing, basically little attendance alert every day. This is the one that I want. Okay, and the next option is I want it to send an email. Okay, you don't have to get an email. You can go in and you can check your intelligent agents if you want, but in this case, I actually want an email. So I'm going to click off that box, and I'm going to click I want this to go to my Outlook email. So I'm going to type in my DDSB email address. Okay. I could actually even do a personal email address outside DDSB if I want. This doesn't have to be a DDSB email, but because this is work related and it's going to have a student's name in there sent by the system, I want that just to stay in my work email. Okay. You do not want to be putting like things like parents' emails and things like that in there. That's a little bit too risky. Okay, so if you're thinking you want to do something like that, you definitely want to reach out to me. But for the most part, don't have anyone except for really yourself in here. Okay, and subject. Okay, so we can do some pretty neat things in the subject. So right now we're going to get an email when people haven't shown up, but we're actually not even going to know who that person is yet. So if I click on replace strings under subject, I can actually put these little, they're almost like wildcards. Once I put these things in there, it will change based on, I'll get an email based on the student's name. So I'm just going to copy initiating user first name. I'm going to put that in the subject. And I'm going to go here, initiating user last name. The initiating user would be the student who hasn't shown up in 2 days. Has not accessed. And maybe I got multiple courses going on. Okay, so you want to know which course you're talking about here. So we're going to click on here again, and we're going to pick org unit name. Okay, that's the name of your course. Okay, and I'm going to put that right there. In 2 days. In at least. And I don't have to, but I'm going to do this anyways. I'm going to put that right here. And I could add any additional information in here that I want as well. So the replace strings basically will automatically insert the student's name and the name of the course into the subject or the body when I do that. Okay, so if you don't know which ones to use, you click this little link right here and you should get a little pop-up telling you which ones you can choose. Okay, whoops. And it might actually be a pretty good option for this one, maybe to tell me the last time they were there. So I'm going to copy last time they logged into the course was, okay. It's a little additional extra information right there. Okay. So now, and you can even have attachments sent and so on. Maybe you've got a form that you're going to forward on or something like that. But I'm going to click Save and Close right now. And now I can see my course access intelligent agent. This is my description I put here, and it's never run. Okay, so we can see here that it has never run, and the next time it's going to run is going to be tomorrow morning at 9:30. But I might think to myself, you know what, I want to run this now. I want to see how well it's going to work, and I want to identify those students now. Well, you don't have to wait till tomorrow morning. You can click this little drop-down chevron right here, and you can actually click Run Now. So I'm going to hit Run Now, and I'll hit Done again. Now we can see right here, if I hover my mouse over right there, it says course access set to manually run. So I have manually run it. It can be process intensive, okay? And I'll just hit refresh here again just to see what happened. And oh, look at that. Okay, so it found a user and it ran just now. And when I check my email, I'm going to pull this over here. I got an email to my Outlook. Okay, so student one, that's the first name, and the last name was Warren, has not accessed. The last time they logged into the course was never. Okay, so this student has never shown up. Okay, so that's not good. So I definitely want to reach out and see what's going on with this student. Okay, so so that's an example of an intelligent agent that you can run, that you can set up, and that's just a very basic one. Okay. If, for example, I will do another short video on how to check to see if a student has accessed a unit in your course. Maybe, for example, a topic on your final project. Okay, so that'll be my next video, just as a small variation of this one for the folks who are new to intelligent agents. If you have any questions, reach out to innovative.education@ddsb.ca if you have further questions.